Right now, where we are with AI, by default, it should be marketing. Putting yourself out there, creating content, social media posts, copies, ad copies, and video scripts, and editing videos, right? In general, marketing is one of the biggest pieces of the whole real estate sales puzzle. 10 years ago, when you were not doing social media, right? You're like it was starting off right in the back then. 10 years ago, I would say marketing yourself on social media. It's kind of like that, but it's on a whole different level. You're not leveraging AI to put yourself out there more. Right now, you can create content, put yourself out there at scale, and leverage AI. Now, in the long run, the way I see it is you can do client service with AI. That's kind of the things that we are dabbling into right now.
You're listening to the #1 real estate podcast in the world, where we talk with the real estate professionals all across North America about their wins, losses, lessons, and stories to help you win in your local market today. My name is Cody from Sheridan Street. I'm joined with Vikram Deol of the Real Estate Sales Academy. Vikram, my man,
what's up?
We've had an interesting day so far. We did a really cool training, but what are you up?
Who had an interesting day? Because we did a train. Did we do it,
bro? Like, are you have amnesia? Like, what's happening? Like dementia? You getting old?
I do smoke some weed here and there. I mean, it is possible that my short-term memory from my childhood is still, the trauma of people named Cody is still affecting me.
Wow, that's very nice of you. I
love you. I love you. I'm just saying there's still maybe some trauma from Cody's beating me up, and I forgot about our awesome training we did this morning, which was really freaking good.
Yeah, we brought the heat this morning. Overcome objections, all that.
If you are an agent and you are not following the Real Estate Sales Dojo or following Cody's real estate Facebook group on marketing, what's your free
marketing mindset and business secrets?
Yeah, if you guys aren't following those two Facebook groups, I guess you just don't like actually helping people in real estate, because there's so much knowledge there.
Yeah, we go live weekly. Like, we've been going live. I think we've done 4 lives this month. Like, every week we've got live and trained on something, whether it be
whenever I'm bored, I because you made me an admin of your group, whenever I'm bored, I just go live in there too. Hey,
I've seen that.
Bro, I'm part of your community, man. I'm helping.
Okay, I got you.
All right, bro. What's good in your world? You're moving back to Medellin. That's nice.
Yeah, bro. I head back to Medellin on Sunday morning. So really excited about that. Our main man Johnny's picking me up from the airport. So yeah, in Provenza, not going to be too far from you. I feel like I haven't seen you in the last 45 days, and that's actually probably a very accurate depiction of the last time I saw you. It was probably 2 months ago, which is really crazy. Time flies. But it'll be nice to be back in Medellin. Just back in a city that I love. So, I'm really excited to come back.
City of angels.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, well, we're gonna transition from your singing.
I think people like. I think somebody might like it.
Maybe our guest today likes Vikram singing. My man, what's happening? Syed, all the way from Detroit, Michigan, not too far from out there. Well, I grew up in Chatham, Ontario. I spent a lot of time in...
No, it's not about you. It's about Syed.
It is
about you.
Well, I'm trying to set him up for him telling us about how he got into real estate. So,
I don't care about how he got into real estate. I care.
Hey, Vikram, I care. You know what I care about right now, Vikram? I care about you shutting up and letting me introduce the guest. Okay, we have Syed from Detroit, Michigan. What's up, man? What's happening? What's good in your world?
Market's honestly crazy as far as real estate goes. Honestly, like, just enjoying where I am right now with my business. But market is way better than what I expected back in January. Like, I had to revamp, like, prepare for this year. Like, it's going to be a bad year. Everyone tighten everything up. Like, let's get ready. But then things started picking up, like February. Now it's like we're back. It almost feels like we are back in like 2021 competition, not as bad as 2020. Sales are down, but as far as demand, we are not seeing anything as far as at least our business and our market. Sales are crazy.
So what is the average price point right now in Detroit? Like, what are you guys selling at average price point?
So the city of Detroit is obviously a lot less, right? When I first started in this I started real estate sales in the city of Detroit. That's like one of my first transaction is actually in the city. And transactions, average sell price back then were like $10,000, $20,000. Now we are looking at between $70,000 to $80,000, and price points. That's just average, but price points are like average houses, nice houses in Detroit are going for over $100,000. So it's a day and night since I joined real estate or started sales in 2014. City of Detroit. Now, what's happening in city of Detroit specifically is basically a lot of outside investors, a lot of hedge funds. They're coming in. It's been happening over the last 5 years, but now more than ever, it's a lot of out of state, out of country investors that are getting in. But as far as our market in general, we don't just serve the city of Detroit. We do the Tri-County area. People call it Metro Detroit area. I would say average price point would be $250, $260.
I'm gonna pivot you a little bit because I think what you do is pretty cool. Well, I don't know exactly what you do because we were talking about it in the green room and we were reading your profile and seeing a lot of things. But Syed, you got into using AI technology in your business 4.5 years ago, correct?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Now, when you were talking in the green room, because this is something that I think Cody and I are getting into, like one of our last guests, Marky, her podcast should be coming out anytime soon. She talked a lot about AI and how she really went down like a 6-month rabbit hole. But what kind of things, like before we get into the granular, like what kind of item, and then Cody, I'm going to ask you the same question. What kind of items can a real estate team lead, solo agent use something like ChatGPT or AI to automate or to help them with in their business?
I would say right now where we are with AI, by default, it should be marketing. Okay. It should be like putting yourself out there, creating content, creating social media posts, copies, ad copies, and video scripts and editing videos, right? Like in general, to me, it's like if you're not using AI for marketing yourself, marketing is one of the biggest piece of the whole real estate sales puzzle. It's just like you're setting yourself back, kind of like you're, 10 years ago when you were not doing social media, right? You're like it was starting off right in the back then. 10 years ago, I would say marketing yourself on social media. It's kind of like that, but it's on a whole different level. You're not leveraging AI to put yourself out there more. It's scalable. Right now, you can create content, put yourself out there at scale, and leverage AI. Now, in the long run, the way I see it is client service. You can do client service with AI. That's kind of the things that we are dabbling into right now.
So when you say client service, what is that? Can you unpack that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So when I say client service, it's pretty much operations, right? So after client acquisition, everything that you do after, right? So some of the basic things that you could accomplish right now if you leverage the right tools is that matchmaking, right? Like fitting your clients' data, like their price points, what are their property criterias, and all of that into AI, and AI has the market data. Actually, there are plugins right now for Zillow where you
wait, hold on, bro. Hold on a second. Okay, so we get some information, and you can plug in an AI through a plugin to Zillow.
So yeah, I'll explain exactly how it works.
Yeah, because you spoke like
GPT right now has a Zillow plugin. ChatGPT has a Zillow plugin.
What?
Yeah, you could.
Are you talking about 4 or 3? Are you talking about the free or the paid?
3. No, 3.
The free one.
Yeah. You could plug in Zillow ChatGPT allows 3 you can use 3 plugins at a time. So if you choose Zillow plugin, you could go to ChatGPT and say, find me a house that is in this area, this city, this state, this price point, has fireplace, blah, 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 like everything that you want in a property. And you will say, give me 5 properties, right? If it has 5 properties that meets all the criteria, it will give you those properties. Yeah.
Okay, so how does that help? How do you utilize that? like that one specific tool, how are you utilizing that in your guys' business?
No, we're still like messing around with that. This is not so efficient as I would want it to be. I want this to be automated. Like I want this like, hey, as soon as we acquire a client, we did a consultation with them and we know exactly what they're looking for. Right away, the AI says to them like, hey, these are 3 properties that meets everything that you're looking for, right? So as far as efficiency, the way I see it is you not have, yes, the real estate agent could go into their local MLS and plug in all these criterias and come up with that list of properties. But then there's still a lot of manual work. You have to go through each properties to see if that's something your client's looking for. Whereas you got automated, artificially intelligent system that would pick the properties for your clients. And of course, we are at the very beginning stage of AI. The more data AI is fed, the more advanced we would get with this. The more tools we get access to, we would be able to build out a lot more tools. So we are working on integrating. It's already done, but now we are tweaking it where we are using ChatGPT in our CRM system to write out emails as on the go, right? So basically telling ChatGPT, responding to emails, just like you hit respond, you click the ChatGPT prompt, and it will right away, like based on whatever email you're responding to, write an email, just review.
Are you using a plugin inside of your CRM to ChatGPT?
Yeah, pretty much any CRM that you
Does ours have that, Cody?
Yeah, go ahead and look into it. Almost every CRM. Yeah. There's a direct plugin. There's conversational AI. I just think that what I'm curious about, because you seem like a techie kind of guy, like I know you are. We had conversations about this before. Like, how can the average agent that doesn't consider themselves techie, because there's a lot of agents that are like, yeah, this is gonna go way over their head. But it's one of those things that if they don't do it, they're going to get left behind. Yeah. Because the ability to speed up processes and systems and the ability to save yourself time and provide even more value to the end consumer, if you really understand how to do this, is massive. So what would you say to that agent that is like on the fence of, it's almost the same agent that was on the fence about, should I even create video content? Where it's like, I think for the most part, we've gotten past that and people understand it. It's how do you communicate even with your team that they need to understand how to do this?
So I would go back to when I first started in real estate sales. I never planned to get into real estate sales in the first place. I was a very introverted person, hated talking to people, hated dealing with people. Like any type of people thing, I'm away from it. Like if you
what's really funny, Syed? I've talked to a lot of really, really uberly successful people that were introverts, and I want to see if your answer is the same as what theirs is as to why you're successful. And I'm going to put it in the chat to Cody so that I can't cheat. Yeah. So you being an introvert with real estate, how did continue your story?
Oh yeah. So if there were 10 people in the room, you can almost guarantee at the time that I would be the person that's just on my own, doing my own thing, not talking to anyone. So, but sales kind of made me who I am. And it wasn't because I did it for money. It wasn't because I did it because this is what I saw. Like, hey, I need to connect with people at a level that I have struggled with. So I figured out how to be a people person, how to put myself out there, how to get out of my comfort zone. Same thing with anything else. I'm not by the way, Cody, by nature, if I were to go back in 2014, I was not a tech person. I didn't know social media. I didn't know a lot of, yes, I use smartphone, but that's not really considered tech person, right? I didn't know APIs and all this stuff that I know now. But over time, I have seen like, hey, Zillow's going to take over the market if I don't learn, right? At least, yes, Zillow could take over people that don't learn their business, but at least I need to be more in control. So I learn, right? So that's with anything in business, is that we are in a problem solving business, right? Like any entrepreneur, if you don't have the problem solving skill set, right? The willingness to solve problem, first of all, with your clients, right? That's what makes you an entrepreneur. But then to become successful with business, your willingness to solve problems in your business is what makes you successful. So that willingness is what I guess the answer to Cody's question would be, if there are agents out there that are on the fence about social media, if you're on the fence about social media, like, don't talk to me. If you're on the fence about video, I get that, the whole fear of, what are people going to think and all that stuff. There is, I coach agents on that, hey, look, your clients are going to see you and hear you anyway. So what difference does it make if they hear you and see you before you get to meet them, right?
It's the funniest thing, bro. It's oh, I'm so scared of the camera. Why? I don't know what to say. Well, then you're obviously not a trusted. Well, of course I am. Well, if you're a trusted advisor, then you know how to advise your client. Just advise the camera like it was a client. Well, that's so scary. Okay.
There was this one agent that I was coaching, and I was coaching them specifically on video. Like, they came to me like, hey, I want to be as good as you are. What do you do? Teach me, right? So I found out that they're like afraid of the camera. Like, it's the death of them, right? So I asked them, like, so what do you plan on doing? Do you plan on selling houses on email? Do you plan on selling houses on text? Like, what's the plan? No, I'm going to sell houses the way everyone else sells. Well, how about you start selling way before, like, you kind of like, you go back and start the timeline from the video. This is your selling point, right? And we know by now, those people who do video, with the clients that they get, they're already sold on their, the willingness to work with us, right? So you already get them sold. So sales really starts with, your marketing or your messaging. Now, going back to Cody's question, people who are on the fence about AI, there's all these new stuff, right? Shiny objects that come up every, quarter in this business, right? First of all, you have to determine, is this something that's going to be long-term? In November, maybe like there were a lot of people questioning, like, okay, AI thing. We knew for 3 years that AI is going to be the future. Like, I subscribed to all AI articles, all AI, blogs, everything. Like, hey, as soon as something becomes available, I'm jumping on it. But by now, we are 6 months into ChatGPT being released, more than 6 months. And by now, it's pretty clear that this is gonna take over a lot of industries. There will be a big shift happening, not just in real estate, but every industry, all across the board. There will be a lot of jobs wiped away from economy, but there will be also a lot of jobs added to the economy because of it. Right. And to me, AI is at the revolution of AI is bigger than electricity and in printing press. It's because, yes, printing press, when it came about, it changed the whole the world in a way where we could never go back to before printing press. Same thing with electricity, same thing with internet, same thing with social media. But AI is the godfather of all of those revolutions, because it will take all of the progression human civilization has made by now, collect all of it, and take it to a whole different level, because it's actually working on all the progressions we have made over the last, 1,000 years. So if you're on the fence, know that there's nothing to be on the fence about. Now, if you are challenged as far as technology, there are different. Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people question. I think now it's been around long enough, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. And, there's been AIs that have been out, which we weren't calling AIs in the past, but now we realize they are AIs, like Crystal plugin.
When you say questioning it, I would disagree with you there. I think that there are still agents that are.
Let's talk to the agents who aren't questioning it, but they don't know how to implement.
That's what Vikram, just go and ask. Is like I do this all the time. I do social experiment on social media. If you follow me on social media, you're in my experiment. I go and ask, is AI going to impact real estate? You will see, like, some people will say yes, the people who are like-minded, but majority of the people will say, no, never gonna happen, blah, blah, blah.
But I would say the majority of those people also aren't, unfortunately, and I say this unfortunately, are probably also not doing a high level of deals, and are probably not when I say the people that are in it, like that aren't questioning it. Like they realize, okay, Zillow came, it changed the industry. Social media came, it changed the industry. Video came, it changed the industry. 3D tours came, it changed the industry. Let's talk to those people who right now aren't the ones that, oh, I'm not going to do social media. That's stupid. Zillow still sucks. They're taking, it's a $1 trillion company. Like, let's talk to the people that believe AI is out there. They believe in the benefits of AI, but they don't know how to implement it from a starting point into their business. Let's talk to that person because I'm not trying to convince.
Let's talk to Vikram. That's what Vikram's saying. He's like,
I'm not trying to talk to the
Syed, did you tell me how to set up AI in my business?
I'm telling you, like, I'm a completely selfish serving.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, I've been there as well. Yeah.
Look, even the example you use with Zillow, there are still agents in the market that are completely oblivious of what Zillow did. Like every time I have this Zillow conversation, agents bring up the news articles of, oh, Zillow filed loss with iBuyer program. Like, what the heck are you talking about?
Why are you talking about this shit? Go make more calls, make more sales. I have no time to hear about Zillow. In 2023, I was like one of the very first agents ever on the platform.
But it's also
I don't give a fuck about you guys talking about Zillow. We made
they're missing
you bitch.
They're missing the mark. Like even from a human psychology standpoint, they're missing the mark on what Zillow is. Zillow has come in. They have the trust of the consumer.
Bought the trust.
They bought the trust.
Yeah.
Like so, like
the trust.
How do you combat trust? You don't try to build a brand.
Like, well, when the Zestimate came out, it's the same thing, right? So like, I don't want to spend valuable time because Syed, the same agent that still fights Zillow is going to be 10 years. They're going to start doing video in 10 years. In 10 years, there's going to be something new other than AI. They're going to be trying to implement. They're always 10, 20 years behind the ball. If you were talking to an agent on your team or in your company and they're like, yo, bro, I want to implement AI in my business. I believe it, but I'm not super techie and I don't have a ton of time, right? So I'm not super techie and I don't have a ton of time. What would be one or two things that they could start doing that would be maybe an hour, 2-3 hours to set up, but not crazy, and that would start to buy them back a ton of time? Like what would be one or two things, and obviously we didn't prep you for this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, for sure. So it goes back to what you're doing, right? If you have a business you're running, you don't have systems and processes in place. You're not doing a lot to market yourself. AI is not like really, you want magic, right? It's not going to happen. But I'm going to talk to agents that are fully leveraged, right? They have fully leveraged all possibilities to grow their business. They have systems and processes in place. They have marketing systems in place, strategies in place. That's the agent that could really, truly leverage AI. So now what are the few things that they can start doing? Anything that you have to think and create, you can outsource to AI, right? What I mean by that right now, if you follow me on social media, any of my social media posts, even though it might seem like I'm doing it, it's AI doing it, right? All my long form copies are done by AI. I just give it 2 sentences and it writes me the whole thing, right? So it saves me the amount of time before November that it was taking me, right? And my VA for us to coordinate together, right? It was unreal. Now I maintain a Google Doc of my thought process on a daily basis, my experiences that I'm going through. Maybe I talked to a client and they had an objection and I handled it and I put it in there, right? In the Google Doc, like, hey, if you are in the market and you're thinking this way, this is how you should think, right? My VA is taking that thought process and putting it into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is creating content ideas, not only just copy, content ideas on what other ways we could say this, right? And then my VA in turn is either posting that as a long form post with a picture of mine, or giving me back like, hey, the ChatGPT thinks you should create a video like this, and we're creating the content that way, right? So that's just very basic. Like these are very basic levels. Some of the very basic levels of things. If you are using blogs, which is it's still undersaturated in a lot of markets. SEO optimized blogs to put organic traffic to yourself, bring organic traffic to yourself. ChatGPT, it's completely changed that game, meaning AI completely changed the game of you creating blogs, SEO optimized blogs. There is a tool that and then Google caught up to that, right? And they started blocking, restricting blogs that are written by AI. Now, there is also a way around that, but write blogs.
Of course there is.
If you are someone who lack creativity on what should I talk about or what content should I put out there, what video should I put out there, what should I say in my video, all of those things can be done by AI. Now, of course, you can figure all of this out yourself, or I would say the shortest cut that I have taken in my 10 years of real estate business is just following models. It's just following people that are doing it at a higher level, just getting around them, buying their course, buying their coaching program. I am in 3 AI coaching programs. I don't admit at this point, I don't have to buy another coaching program, but why am I doing it? Because of the agents that I serve. I want to bring that knowledge to them, right? They don't have access to this knowledge. So go out there, find those people, right? Be around them, follow them on social media. There is a lot of great people out there putting a lot of value out there on social media, and just be around them and see what they're doing. Going back to Zillow, the reason why I want to go back to Zillow is understanding this whole concept in business, because Zillow started off as a marketing agency, right? It started off as a marketing agency. Right now, Zillow is a real estate broker in all 50 states, and I don't know about even worldwide how many other countries, right? Like, how can a marketing agency turn into a real estate brokerage, right? It's because they were hyper-focused on identifying their audience's problems and desires, right? And Apple started as a computer company, right? Now 70% of their revenue comes from phones, right? How can a computer company turn into a phone company, right? And that's pretty much the underlying principle behind that is if you are hyper-focused on serving your people, your audience, whoever your ideal audience or your ideal client is, Zillow went from acquiring all of these people to come to their website and view houses to like, oh, what's the next thing we can do is sell leads to agents, right? When once they did that very good, and in the process, we are all in lead generation business, right? Agency space, we know the struggles in, converting online leads into clients, right? So Zillow hyper-focused themselves in solving that problem to a point they solved it so well that now I would estimate in my business when I was using Zillow Lead for 5 years, it was never less than 25% of my business that I was spending on Zillow Lead. It's 35 to 35%. And I'm pretty good at converting leads, right? I have a good system in converting leads. Even then, it's 25 to 35% of my business paid out to premier agent costs, right? Same thing with the Flex program. They're taking 30 to 35% at the back end, right?
Yep.
So it's like it completely shifts, right? Where you are hyper-focused on solving the problem of your client, you get the leverage. You get to call the shot, right? Same thing with the new technologies, with AIs. It's not about like jumping on this new thread, right? The thread thing, right? That's going on right now. It's jumping on the new bandwagon. It's not so much about that. Rather, it's more about how can you use this new technology to serve your audience at a higher level. That should be the focus. And once that's the focus, anything else, it doesn't matter how difficulty comes, right? You have to get on video. You have to go, learn this new skill set. It all becomes irrelevant. It all becomes part of the process because your focus is, how can I serve my clients at a higher level? I
think you said something really important is that if you're focused on service and you're really the trusted advisor, you're really, if you really believe the sauce you're putting out there, then you would also believe that it's your responsibility to make video. It's your responsibility to communicate with your prospect and your client in the format that they want, not that you're comfortable in. And if you truly believe, right? Like I hear agents all the time, what makes you, I provide the best service. Fucking, what does that even freaking mean? Right? Are you using AI?
You made me fall off my chair because this is my pet peeve.
Right. So show me your processes when you get a new lead. What do you mean? Show me your processes when you acquire a new buyer client, right? Show me your process when you go under contract. Show me your process when you write an offer. Show me your process for how do you get referrals? Show me your process for how do you get a review? Well, we don't have those. You're the trusted advisor.
And how do you have the service? You can't even repeat from one client to another client. If you don't have a process, you cannot repeat it, right?
What
it's all in here.
What happens if you go to Starbucks and you order a cafe mocha jocha fucking caramel diabetic latte and they give it to you and it's not the way that it was supposed to be built? You will have a shitstorm of a cow and you will demand that Starbucks CEO and shareholders come and personally apologize to you. But yet your demands for coffee are greater than the need to sit down and put a process together for the most important and biggest transaction 95% of Americans are going to make.
Yeah.
Shut the front door. You son of a... Sorry, Cody.
So it is, it's a really interesting conversation. I really find a lot of passion in this because I deal with this on a daily basis, coaching and training agents. Is that their focus is completely different. Their focus is on like opening doors to show houses, right? Like, okay, how can I open more doors? No, how can you...
Craziest thing I've ever heard.
How can you solve more problems? Like, what problem are you focused on really, right? Usually, like on my onboarding calls with my coaching clients, first question I ask is, what problem do you solve? And almost every time they're like, what do you mean?
They don't have an answer for that, Syed. That's a very complicated question to somebody who went through the basic minimum amount of effort to get a license to make millions of dollars a year.
I would argue that the vast majority of business owners can't answer that question in multiple sectors. What problem do you solve?
Yeah.
Because
they don't look at business that way, right? Whatever.
Yeah, it's such a it's such a philosophical question as well. And man, Syed, like it. This was a ton of fun. And wrapping up here, if somebody were to want to reach you and maybe they want to have a conversation with you about AI, maybe it's an agent-to-agent referral in the Michigan area, where is the best place that we can send them in order for them to have a conversation with you?
IG, I'm very active there. Facebook, my personal page, I'm very active there. You can look me up, Success Broker, in all platforms, now on Threads. So the Success Broker, but definitely I love conversations like this. It's been a pleasure, and I feel like, hey, we just got started. What are you talking about? We're out of time.
I know, right? We could jam forever, but we got to wrap up here. Syed, I want to say thank you, bottom of my heart, for just jamming with us around AI and around like especially the tactical thing of actually linking ChatGPT to Zillow. If you're an agent using Zillow, I'd highly recommend you look into that. Or hire somebody to help you.
Well, if you're an agent and you're not using Zillow, your client is using it.
Yeah. You are not really care about your client at all.
Yeah. Well, hey, I was trying to be nice, but you guys said it here. But you're listening to another episode of the Argent Podcast. I want to say thank you for tuning in with us today. Leave us a review. We would absolutely love if you could leave us a review on iTunes. It helps us reach more real estate agents and help them win in their local market today. Thanks for tuning in to the #1 real estate podcast in the world. We'll see you soon.